Thank you all for being here, and please pardon our tardiness with our start time. We wanted to make sure we had a few things in order, but we do appreciate you all here. So this meeting will be come to order at 6:49 p.m. Welcome to the first meeting for the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability. I am Commissioner Ramel Terry. And I will serve as the chair this evening until officers are elected. So we're going to start with our roll call so that we can establish a quorum. Commissioner Brown?
Present.
Commissioner Driver?
Present.
Commissioner Gomez?
Present.
Commissioner Loizon? Commissioner Lunellis?
Present.
Commissioner Terry, present. And Commissioner Troncoso?
Present.
All 7 members of the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability are present, and we are able to conduct this meeting to start our business. So at this time, I'm going to call up Pastor Reginald Sharp of Fellowship Chicago to give us an invocation.
Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It is so good to be with you this evening, and I think it's wonderful that you all have a DJ for us tonight. Thank you for this wonderful musical that we are a part of. Let's bow our heads for a word of prayer. Our Creator, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for the joy and the strength that you have provided to us all day long. God, we're here because we need leadership in this city. We love our city and we know what it can be in spite of what it is now. So God, help us to stay focused on possibility even in the midst of calamity. Help us to continue to dream in spite of some of the nightmares that we see. Help us to look forward even when we become tempted to stare at what's backwards. So bless our commissioners, bless this meeting tonight, and allow this agenda to be one that supports the ethic and the virtues that are necessary for a thriving city. We give you honor, praise, and glory. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Pastor Sharp. At this time, I'm going to hand the mic over to Commissioner Brown to provide a statement from the Commission.
It's so exciting to see all of you here tonight. We want to begin our meeting with gratitude. We respectfully recognize and give gratitude to the Council of the Three Fires, the Odawa, Ojibwe, and Potawatomi nations, and the Illinois Confederacy, the Peoria and Kaskaskia nations who have stewarded this land throughout the generations. Many other nations, including the Miami, Ho-Chunk, Menominee, Fox, and Sac peoples, also call this region home. Indigenous people continue to live in this area and celebrate their traditional teachings and lifeways. We acknowledge that we are on an occupied land that was forcibly taken from its original owners. And we affirm that while we cannot change history, we can work for justice. And that justice begins with recognition and acknowledgement. We are grateful to each one of you for coming out tonight, and for those of you on the live stream, to witness this historic moment. Together and over decades, the citizens and some leaders of this great city worked toward creating a community commission for public safety and accountability. We acknowledge all of their efforts and legacy. We are grateful for the community organizations and the masses of people who worked on the Task Force for Police Accountability, the Civilian Police Accountability Council, or CPAC, the Grassroots Alliance for Police Accountability, GAPA, and so many more. We're grateful for the city council members who supported the work, and finally, supported the Empowering Communities for Public Safety Ordinance. We're grateful to all who are here tonight, so many of you in this room, who worked over the years to make this a reality. We're grateful to our first responders and to all of the city agencies responsible for public safety. And we recognize that for too many neighborhoods, public safety is still aspirational. From October 1st of 2021 until today, more than 80 youth under the age of 19 in Chicago have been killed by gun violence. In a speech in 1977, Harold Washington said, "The fundamental issue in this campaign is the fact that the city that works does not work for the overwhelming majority of its citizens. What I will work for as mayor is not a city that works for the few, but a working city for all." That was 45 years ago. Today we heed his words, and as a commission, we are striving toward a working city for all. We believe Chicago can be a city that works for everyone. And by that, we mean a city in which every person has the opportunity to thrive. At the heart of being able to thrive is public safety. We want people to be safe across our city, in every neighborhood, and in every school. We want our police officers to be safe while they do their jobs. The way to safety is through accountability. We are committed to holding ourselves accountable to our communities for the work that we have been given to do. We're committed to holding all of the oversight boards and committees and offices and agencies accountable to our communities as well. We're committed to holding you accountable for working with us and working with the various police districts to create trust and to work to repair relationship where repair is needed. We have what it takes, Chicago, to be a city that works for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown. The next item of business is our public comment. So the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability takes public comment very seriously. And so we ask at this time, if you have any written public comment that you would like to submit, please bring it up to the front. You can also submit your comments via email to the Community Commission Public Comment at cityofchicago.org. Again, that is Community Commission Public Comment at cityofchicago.org. So we'll have time at the beginning of our meeting for public comment, and so people who are interested in speaking have already submitted their names, and we see that there's a full room, so if we don't get enough folks in at the beginning, I believe that we have opened it up to potentially comments at the end as well. So, I guess the first speaker that we have, and it's 2 minutes for public comment, is Rosemary Dominguez. So if you could come up to the front. Over here to the mic, Ms. Dominguez.
Thank you so much. Hi everyone, my name is Rosemary Dominguez. I am running for 10th District. I am also a community engagement and housing organizer for a recognized nonprofit. So my question really for you all is, what have your outreach efforts been? Because as someone who's been hitting the pavements in Saturday in backyards, Greater Lawndale and Pilsen, not a lot of folks know what PCPS is. And I live in a community that's 90% first generation Spanish speaking, yet none of this is translated. So when we're talking about accountability on all sides, like what outreach and education efforts have you all done to make sure that we're hitting our communities? And it's not just our Spanish-speaking communities, right? As I look in this room, you know, yes, we have diversity, but I feel like we can do better on that spectrum.
Thank you so much for your comment. Yes, you can have a seat. Thank you so much. And we'll speak more about our efforts as we go through our meeting. The next speaker, you can come to the front, Mr. Frank Chapman with ECPS.
Does the microphone and the podium work? It works.
It does.
Use the podium. Use the podium.
Okay, do not sit down. Sorry for taking up all this time.
No, no problem.
Don't cut it off my speech though.
I haven't started yet.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Comrades and friends. All power to the people. I'm making a statement on behalf of the ECPS Coalition, and also I represent the National Alliance Against Racism and Political Repression, which I'm the executive director of. Yes, sir. And I'm also the field organizer for the Chicago Alliance Against Racism and Political Repression. We put in a lot of work to get this commission, and I say that we crossed rivers of blood to get this commission. So we're happy, you all have already introduced yourselves, so I won't introduce you again. We're happy to have you, and we come here tonight not just to challenge you, but we come here tonight also to support you. This commission needs to work. It needs to work. And in order to work, it needs to have a budget. In order to work, it needs to have staff. Do you have either? I can answer that. No. So we want to start off by saying, give this commission a hand, but give it a hand. But also, we want to send a message to the powers that be. And that is, we didn't do all this work. We didn't do all this organizing and protesting to have a lame duck commission. We didn't do that. So we're demanding that the mayor and the city council get off their rusty dusties and give this commission the budget that they need to work, and also give them the staff that they need to do work. And there's a lot of other things I can say, but that's the essential message here. The essential message here is that we need work done. We need work done. We don't need to be just citing crime statistics. We also need to be citing police crime statistics. We need work done. We need police accountability. The police are coming up for a $1.9 billion budget. Whoa! We got to have something to say about that. We got an ordinance pending. Anjanette Young. They violated her space while she was in the shower. No knock laws. We can address that. We can address anything and everything that we need to address regarding police conduct and police misconduct. So let's get to work.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Chapman. Our next speaker this evening, Cassandra Geiss. Okay, I was going to say Geiss, but I wasn't sure.
I wrote this down, so bear with me. I noticed that within the ordinance, it mentions that a permanent commission of 7 should have an attorney as a member. I would like to ask this, with the need for a meeting of minds in order to get the work done, shouldn't you have someone on the commission with conflict resolution experience, or at least a consultant to the commission with conflict resolution experience? I mean, the groups, as we can see, everyone is impassioned, and sometimes it's difficult when you're so passionate about what you're doing to come to a consensus, especially with the histories that some of us have. So that is my comment.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment, Ms. Geiss. Our next speaker that we're going to call up, Cassandra Plummer.
How y'all doing today? My name is Cassandra Plummer. I'm just gonna share a quick comment. I'm running for a police district too. All right, okay. But what inspired me to do this is my brother Johnny Plummer. He was 15 years old, and some of John Bird's detectives got a hold of him. 3 decades later, he's still in jail trying to come home. Coming up in the neighborhood, I experienced police brutality. Going to work and watching them throw your ID in the garbage can, do whatever they wanted to do. We was at their mercy. So for the first time in a long time, we get a chance to change that narrative, right? We get a chance to change it. I mean, like really, because you can't have no change without the community being involved with you. So how can you make decisions without the community? So about time the community have a voice. And I think this is the first time in a long time we actually gonna see some change. So I hope that everybody that get on board, let's get on board. Because we got a lot of changes to do. That's all I want to share with you guys.
Thank you for your comment, Mr. Plummer. Our next speaker that we have coming up is Grace Pacino.
Hi, my name is Grace Pacino. I live in the 17th district, and I just want to say that we need you guys to be fully staffed and funded. There's no reason why CPD can get all of this money from the city, but the people who are here to hold them accountable can't. I'm really looking forward to see the work you guys do around changing CPD policies, such as the no-knock policy. What happened to Anjanette Young should never have happened, and you can prevent it from happening again. And I just want to say welcome, and I'm really excited to see all the work that you guys get done.
Thank you so much, Mr. Our next speaker I would like to call up is with the ECPS Coalition, Jackie Baldwin.
Shalom, Commissioners. I am Jackie Baldwin of the Jewish Council on Urban Affairs. I'm a longtime member of the ECPS Coalition. Our coalition believes that it's important for you to keep at the forefront of your minds as you take on this formidable role the reasons why there is such widespread support for civilian oversight of the Chicago Police Department, the Police Board, and COPA. Chicago residents expect and know that you will be agents of change. We know that you will lead corrective action to reform, change, and improve the status quo, because there are two things very, very important here. One is the human cost, the cost of lives that have been lost due to police shootings and excessive force, the cost to people that are forever impacted by experiences that did not have to happen. It's about racial bias and unconstitutional practices, which are specific issues targeted by the federal court's consent decree governing the Chicago Police Department. It's also about using armed police officers to intervene in social conditions that ultimately make our city unsafe. There are more humanely and effectively ways to prevent and resolve these issues with investments in our communities, in affordable housing, in education, mental health, social services, and alternatives to policing. Now that's the human cost. The second very important thing that we need you to focus on is the financial waste to Chicago's taxpayers. Chicago devotes approximately 45% of its city budget to pay solely for policing. This $1.4 billion does not include the court settlements for victims of police abuse. Between 2010 and 2020, the city has spent more than $500 million. That's $500 million to settle 1,500 misconduct claims. That makes Chicago among one of the highest cities in the nation at the rate of spending on misconduct claims. Now, all of this money is paid by everybody in this room that pays taxes. Given the human cost and the financial cost, we all, every Chicagoan, has a stake in your work. We hope and pray for your success in changing the status quo, to ensure justice, and to guarantee that policing actually does serve and protect, not beat and kill. Our ECPS coalition will continue to support and assist you in this challenging work ahead, and we appreciate your attention tonight, and we appreciate your standing up to this challenge. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Baldwin. Our next speaker, Mohammed Senkari.
Good evening, commissioners. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mohammed Senkari from the Arab American Action Network. We're also members of the Chicago Alliance Against Racism and Political Repression. My message here, I think, is going to be very short, very concise. First of all, this commission, we welcome you because you are a result of the blood, sweat, and tears of the movement in this city for the decades to get to this point. And we all know that, everyone in this room knows that, everybody understands that this was fought for and cried for and bled for until we got to the moment that we are here today. So we appreciate you for the work you're stepping up to do. There's a lot of work to be done. I don't have to repeat the fact that we're in crisis in this city still with so-called policing. But most importantly, in addition to welcoming you all, thanking you all, recognizing how we got here, my message, I want to echo my elder and mentor Frank, that the mayor and the city council needs to understand that we're not going to just let this die. We're not just going to let this get by without what it needs to succeed, and that's money and staffing. If we're going to solve the crisis of policing in this city, we need to do it right. And so Mayor Lightfoot, we're not going to let it pass. The city council, we're not going to let this pass. You all need to do what you need to do to make sure this commission can work and to make sure we can solve the crisis that we have in this city, and that's the crisis of police crimes. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Senkari. Our next speaker, Josh Diantino.
Thank you. And it's D'Antonio. You're close. Hi, everyone. I wanted to say, first off, thank you so much for having me here. Thank you all for being here. And thank you, everyone else, for being here and for doing the work that it took to get this bill passed. Like you said, my name is Josh D'Antonio. I am a trans non-binary person. I use they, them pronouns. And I've worked with the Chicago Alliance, and on CPAC, and then on ECPS for a total of 5 years. And now I'm running for to be the district counselor of the 20th district as well. I wanted to say that this commission does have the power to do quite a bit in terms of policy, and I'm excited to see what y'all will do. Ending no-knock warrants, suggesting the redistribution of police funds, and so much more. With that being said, I also wanted to bring to you all what my neighbors have shared with me at the doors and on the street corners as well. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, talked to a lot of folks, and by and large, especially recently, what folks have been telling me is the need for non-carceral solutions for issues facing our community. The men and women with guns do not need to respond to noise complaints, to mental health crises, or ever interact with our neighbors who happen to be houseless. Finding solutions that do not involve the police that will solve these things are going to be of the utmost importance for the neighbors that I've talked to recently. And lastly, I did want to say that most of my neighbors I talk to don't know about ECPS. They don't know about this new power that they have, the new democratic control, the new democratic influence that we have with the police now. And so I think we need a lot more education, and most of all, we need a lot of action for y'all. So we will be looking at you, holding you accountable, and I'm really excited to see what the commission can do.
Thank you so much, Josh. Our next speaker is also with ECPS, Lucretia Burns.
Hey everyone, first of all, I just want to say this room is beautiful, so shout out to everybody who came out here today. I'm going to read a statement on behalf of our coalition. Our ECPS coalition is comprised of over 100 community and civic organizations. Our members come from all walks of life as renters and homeowners, parents raising children and families, and Chicago taxpayers. We are rooted in the working class and oppressed communities of this city, having mobilized over 200,000 workers in support of the ECPS ordinance. We worked for many years with the CPAC and GAPA groups dedicated to the principle of police accountability. And we eventually won passage of the city ordinance that empowers this commission and local police district councils. We organized with Chicago churches, synagogues, mosques, with block clubs and community groups and unions and city council alderpersons and others across the city to educate residents about the benefits of civilian oversight. We celebrate those of you who participated in our educational workshops, in our community forums, and who helped collect thousands of signatures from Chicago residents who wanted and demanded change in how our communities are policed. We celebrate those of you who also helped to craft the city's ordinance, the ECPS ordinance that was approved July 2021. We are here to recognize and hear from you and uplift you on a broad base of support that exists for you. Across the city, there is support for you, and we hope that you act with boldness in forging new policies, practices, and protocols for a safer Chicago. A city with effective, responsive, professional, and unbiased and constitutional policing. Like most Chicago residents, we feel a sense of urgency about the work you will do to actively solicit and be responsive to the community's needs, especially to the voices from communities who have been impacted most by police violence, over-policing, and unprofessional policing. The district councils we will elect in February will be the boots on the ground, identifying those priorities for this commission based on the needs in their local communities, and our ECPS coalition will support and assist you in the challenging work ahead. So on behalf of the ECPS coalition, I thank you for your attention. Congratulations, you all. Thank you so much for stepping up.
Thank you so much for your comments. Our next speaker is Michael Harrington.
Thank you very much. I am Michael Harrington. I represent the ECPS Coalition, and I serve as co-chair of Network 49, our Rogers Park 49th Ward Community and Civic Organization. I want to speak tonight, Commissioners, with you about our coalition's expectations for your immediate work. As Commissioners, your primary goal will be to establish a foundation for success now and in years to come. We know that you are under pressure to initiate and accomplish many goals and objectives. You are being asked to consider advice and guidance from many sources. We also know there are serious forces opposed to your work. They want to maintain the status quo. We believe that in your next steps forward, the most urgent priority in your work plan is what you do right now to help create and support the Commission's community component, the local police district councils. These community councils will be the fuel to inform and manpower to support your Commission's future development. We cannot stress enough how critical it is for you to work now to support creation of the police district councils. Time is of the essence. It's a problem that most Chicagoan voters do not know that this commission exists. Voters also have no clue about the local police district councils or that they can run to be a district council member in their own police district. They do not know and must be informed to pay attention to police district candidates on the ballot in February. Your commission can support, fund, and initiate voter education on this right now. This communications task can succeed by leveraging paid and free media in a non-political and non-partisan manner. Beyond voter education, we look forward to you hiring a strong team of district council support staff. Your commission staff must assist police district council members in implementing the ECPS ordinance goals. For most police district council members, this will be their first experience in managing an accountable, transparent, and responsive public organization. Creating a recommended set of essential guidelines for Chicago Police District Council operations is an important task for you to accomplish. We know that you are essentially expected to build an airplane while it is trying to fly. Do not see it as a problem, and instead look at your opportunity to create something great to meet a community need. Our ECPS coalition, with our community-based member organizations around the city, is ready to support this work, which must be launched right now. On behalf of the ECPS coalition, I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our next speaker, Eric Russell.
Before I get started, I want to just take a moment and keep the family of Dominica lifted in prayer. Dominica, she was killed today as a result of the Chicago police chasing carjackers. So once again, we have the Chicago police not adhering to the pursuit laws. Okay, I know I usually get a fast clock, so let me get started. My name is Eric Russell with the Tree of Life Justice League. Today, many of us are here today as parents trying to protect the life of our child. This board is our child. We will not, when you don't give this board a budget, you're trying to kill our child in its infancy before it even gets started. We want to tell you that we will be good parents. You are our child. You are the child that has to cry justice for our dead because they can no longer speak. You are the child, the promise of the hope of police reform, transparency, and accountability. We will stand like doting parents because we labored for you. We march for you. We protest for you. And so we will make the mayor release her hand off the pillow that will suffocate you. We will prevent the crib death that opposing city council members, when they don't give you a budget and a staff, is that, well, let me say it a little more palatable. You know, it's like Oprah Winfrey saying, everybody gets a car, but she doesn't give you gas to drive it off the lot. We want to empower you because the stakes are so very high. You are the promise. You are our child. and we will dote over you, we will nurture you, but all we ask is that you recognize that your voice is the voice of the people. All power to the people.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Our next speaker is also with the ECPS Coalition, Carlos Pittman.
Yes.
Hello everyone, my name is Carlos Pittman, representing the ECPS Coalition. I also served as a community organizer for the Southwest Organizing Project. We have outlined our coalition's expectations for your immediate work on voter education and police district council support. Your long-term work plan will include not only working with, but also evaluating the leadership of the Chicago Police Department, the Chicago Police Board, and the Civilian Office of Police Accountability. The watchword in all of this is professionalism. That principle must be applied as a standard for each of the 3 government entities you will oversee. Professionalism means eliminating racially biased policing, police violence, and abuse of authority. Achieving these goals will improve service to Chicago communities and residents. Improving professionalism in CPD and its over 10,000 officers means that an important area of your commission's work must target long-standing problems in CPD policy and operations in these areas. 1, on police candidate recruitment. Professionalism must start at the very beginning. Last year, CPD lowered educational qualifications in order to increase the number of recruits. CPD should not be scrambling to find new recruits or agree to misdirected demands to increase the number of officers on duty. Your commission's work must examine the recruitment plan based on community needs and ensure that police recruits reflect Chicago's diverse populations. And 2, on police candidate screening. CPD is looking for people who will be authorized to use deadly weapons. CPD must adopt a wider range of measures to evaluate potential recruits before they are sent to police academy training. Their emotional, mental, and values must all be evaluated. Screening and background investigation should include confidential interviews with current and former intimate partners to identify candidates with histories of substance abuse or domestic violence. The Commission's efforts should be informed by the work of those who have been fighting for years to bring CPD in compliance with the consent decree and to end the rampant abuse of power by police in Black and brown communities. Our ECPS Coalition is ready to support and assist you in every way we can. And on behalf of the ECPS Coalition, I thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker that I would like to call up is Mr. Emmett Farmer.
Thank you all. I really wasn't prepared to speak today, and Frank called me and asked me to come and told me what was going on. I almost want to really cry. That's what it even speak. Because I've been standing in front of you all for 11 years now. And 2011, first of all, my name is Emmett Farmer. First of all, I'm the father of Flint Farmer, a victim of police murder. He was killed in 2011. Then I became a member of the Chicago Alliance Against Racial and Political Repression. And we marched, and I marched with them. And then I even volunteered to get on the board here with Commissioner Terry for COFA First IFRA, who IFRA actually ruled my son's murder unjustifiable homicide. He was shot 7 times by the Chicago police, or Chicago police officers. shot 7 times, 4 times in the back while he was laying on the ground. And that police officer, even as today, has never got indicted. You know, he is off the police force. You know, he ran, he left. I don't know where he at, he ran, but he never got indicted. You know, I fought and fought. So I almost just want to cry to just know that something like this came to pass. You know, amen? You know, so, you know, I'm very happy. And I really want to see this go forward, this commission go forward, this commission get funded, and nobody drop the ball. Let this, you know, let this actually be something that helps all, and I know some more family members, I'm sure in here, that then had children killed by the Chicago police. This was a homicide. You know, this was a killing. He should have been indicted, really sent to jail. He still should be in jail. And it was caught on the dash cam with a police car. This was caught on camera before the crime McDonald. You know, they got all the publicity. Flint Farmer didn't really get the publicity, but it was caught on. I didn't even know what it actually happened until they showed me the dash cam video off the police car. So I just want to thank you all, and I'm praying you all do a great job. I already know you, Greg. You know, I already know this commissioner here. I know her heart. I know where she's at. You know, I haven't met the rest of you all, but I know she's sitting on the commission with you all. I know it's for real. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Farmer. Our last speaker for this session of the public comment is Kobe Gilroy. You know
I gave you my paper, young lady. You next, yours.
You're next at the end section.
They gonna have some more.
Yes, Mr. Blakemore.
Hey everybody. So my name is Kobe Kittery. I am a member of the ECPS Coalition. I am also one of the co-chairs of the Chicago Alliance Against Racist and Political Repression. And it makes me so happy to see how many people are in this room right now, particularly people who have fought in the struggle for justice, in the struggle for police accountability, for the empowerment of Black and brown communities for such a long time. Especially seeing people on this commission. I know people sitting on this stage who I've personally worked with in the struggle for police accountability. So that is something worth celebrating. It's just kind of a shame that we're having this meeting in September, knowing that this commission was supposed to be appointed in January. And we were supposed to be having this meeting in February or March. Now, just like the issue with outreach that some people have talked about, that's not on the commissioners, okay? I know these commissioners have been working very hard. That's on the city. That's on the mayor and that's on city council, okay? The mayor, as long as she's been in power, as long as she's been in that office, has been opposing police accountability. We had to fight tooth and nail to get this ECPS ordinance passed. And it's still a fight right now because she doesn't want any kind of police accountability. There are people on city council, we know those snakes in city council who do not want the police to be held accountable. And we have to be the force that overcomes that. We have to be the force that overcomes those reactionaries in city council. And I can see by how packed this room is, I can see by the energy of the speakers that have spoken before me that we are going to do that. We are going to get this done. We are going to make history. We are going to make sure that this is not a lame duck commission. We are going to make sure that this commission gets the resources, the manpower, the budget that it needs to do the work that it needs to do. We are going to make sure that it fights for the policies that we need to see. An end to no-knock raids on people's homes. an end to these foot chases that end up killing people in our communities. And we are going to stop the parasitic police budget that keeps on stealing money from schools, from public transport, from hospitals, from everything that we actually need to survive, and puts it in this $1.9 billion police budget, just so that they can brutalize people and not actually keep us safe. So once again, we are here making history. We did a lot of work to get this commission appointed and to get ECPS passed, and we're going to keep doing that work until we actually have full community control of the police. So all power to the people.
Thank you so much. So to Mr. Blakemore, there is a segment at the end of the meeting where we will call you up for public comment. So at this point of the meeting, we would normally be providing reports, but because this is our first public meeting, we're going to do something that we don't do at every meeting and share some background about the commission and the commissioners. And so we'll start with an overview from our executive director, Adam Gross.
Thank you, Commissioner Terry. This is background, though I understand many of you are very familiar with the ordinance. The Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability was created by ordinance by the Chicago City Council in June 2021. It is one half of a new model for police oversight, accountability, and public safety. The Community Commission has oversight authority over the Chicago Police Department, the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, or COPA, and the Police Board. The other half is district councils, which the ordinance also creates. District council members will be elected in each police district in the municipal election next February. The district councils will work to engage people throughout the districts and to improve policing and accountability and public safety in the districts. The commission and district councils will bring police officers and Chicago residents together to plan, prioritize, and build mutual trust, strengthen the police accountability system, and give Chicagoans a meaningful and powerful new role in oversight and explore and advance alternative, effective approaches to public safety. The Community Commission has authority to play a central role in selecting and removing the police superintendent, the COPA chief administrator, and police board members, set policy for the police department, COPA, and the police board, establish goals for the police department, COPA, and the police board, and evaluate progress toward meeting those goals, and promote community engagement and transparency. To support that work, the commission has a budget guaranteed by ordinance of more than $3 million a year, and we're working to build out a significant staff for the commission. Earlier this year, the City Council nominated 14 people to serve on this interim commission, and earlier this month, the mayor appointed these 7 people to serve on the interim commission. Next year, after district council members are elected and take office, which will be in May, the district councils will nominate people to serve on a permanent commission, and the mayor will choose 7 people who were nominated by the district councils to serve on that permanent commission. The permanent commission will probably be selected sometime in the fall of 2023. The Community Commission is required to hold public meetings at least once a month. This is the commission's first public meeting, and we are very excited that you are all here, and we're very excited to begin this work. Thank you.
I'll just project.
Hello. Hello. Hi, how are you? Thank you.
Thank you. So, because we only have one mic, I'm going to project my voice so that everyone can hear me. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear me all the way to the back, right? My sister at the back door, you got me? All right. So, next we're going to do a brief introduction of all of the commissioners. We're just gonna share our names and where we reside. And so I'm going to start with Commissioner, one thing before that. We also have these handouts that give you a little bit more detailed information about us if you're at all interested, brief bio on us. So that's why we're going to keep it short and sweet so that we can continue on with the rest of our meeting. So I'm going to start with Commissioner Brown.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Reverend Beth Brown. I live in Edgewater, and my church is located in Lincoln Park.
Hi everyone, I'm Anthony Driver. I am a lifelong Southside resident in the Back of the Yards community.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Cliff Nellis. I live in North Lawndale with my 3 beautiful children. Yeah, West Side is the best of the West Side. And I'm also the executive director of the Lawndale Christian Legal Center at 16th and Hamlin in Lawndale.
My name is Isaac Troncoso, and I live on the north side of the city in the Lakeview community, sadly with no beautiful children.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Osvaldo Gomez, and I am a resident of this beautiful neighborhood, the near West Side.
Hi, my name is Yvette Bluzon. I live on the southwest side in the Beverly community, and I am an overachiever with 4 children.
And I am Commissioner Terry, a lifelong Chicagoan and a proud West Sider, West Side all day. And I have a young adult in North Lawndale. So now on to our new business. The next order of business, we will begin the election of our officers. And so is there a nomination for officers? Yes, Commissioner Troncoso.
I move to nominate Anthony Driver to serve as President of the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability, and Osvaldo Gomez to serve as Vice President of the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability.
I second that motion.
So Commissioner Troncoso nominates Anthony Driver to serve as the President of the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability, and Osvaldo Gomez to serve as the Vice President of the Commission. And Commissioner Nellis seconds the motion. Is there any debate on the motion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Those in favor of adopting the motion to elect Anthony Driver to the role of President of the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability, and Osvaldo Gomez to serve as Vice President of the Commission for Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. All right, the ayes have it and the motion carries. Anthony Driver is elected the President of the Community Commission, and Osvaldo Gomez the Vice President. So congratulations, Commissioner Driver and Commissioner Gomez. At this point, I will yield the chair to Commissioner President Anthony Driver.
Thank you, Ramel. So I'm about to continue with the meeting, but it was one time. I also asked the commission not to make it a habit of responding and during public comment to get into sort of a back and forth, but one comment specifically. This is a commission that is dedicated to accountability, and I think that also means we have to hold ourselves accountable. And one comment specifically stuck out to me. So if you are a Spanish-speaking person in the audience and there was materials provided that were not in Spanish, this commission owes you an apology, and you have a commitment for me as the new president of this commission that any materials produced going forward will always be printed in Spanish and English. And if there's other folks who need accommodations, we will make every effort to make sure that happens. Our next order of business is to establish a regular meeting schedule for next year, for the year, sorry. Is there a motion to establish a meeting schedule? See, I'm already messing up. The chair recognizes Commissioner Nellis. We all in this together.
So in order to fulfill the ordinance requirement that the commission meet at least once a month, I move that the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability establish a regular meeting schedule with meetings the last Thursday of each month, except in November and December, when the commission will meet the second Monday of that month, and all regular meetings will begin at 6:30 p.m. This schedule of regular meetings will run from this month, September 2022, through August 2023.
Second the motion.
We have a motion from Commissioner Nellis that's seconded by Commissioner Beck. We'll now call it to a vote. Is there any debate on the hearing? None? We're now calling to a vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any nays? Our next order of business is to create committees. Committees will be the primary way that the commission will carry out its business in between public meetings. Each committee will take on some important part of the commission's work. Is there a motion to create committees? Chair recognizes Commissioner Gomez.
So I move to create the following committees to help the commission exercise its power and fulfill its duties under the ordinance. First, the executive committee, which will be made up of now president and vice president, and oversee the operations of the commission, including drafting agendas for the commission meetings like this one, develop strategy, and conduct evaluations of our executive director. I also move to create the Chicago Police Department Budget and Resource Allocation Committee, which will lead the Commission's annual effort to review and respond to the CPD budget. I also move to create the Policy Review and Development and Consent Decree Compliance Committee, which will lead the Commission's work to review processes, policies, and develop policies that promote the consent decree compliance. I move to also create the Community Policing Committee, which will lead the Commission's work of assessing and seeking to strengthen CPD's community policing efforts. I move to also create the Committee of the Chicago Police Department Goal Setting and Performance Assessment. Sorry, let me rephrase that. The Chicago Police Department Goal Setting and Performance Assessment Committee, which will lead the Commission's annual work of establishing goals for the department at the beginning of the year and assess the performance in meeting those goals at the end of the year. I also move to create the COPA Committee, which will develop processes to fill vacancies for the COPA Chief Administrator and lead the work to fulfill vacancies when they occur, lead the annual work to establish goals for COPA at the beginning of the year, and assess COPA's performance in meeting those goals at the end of the year, as well as track COPA's work and keep the Commission informed about COPA on a regular basis. I move to also create the Police Board Committee, which will develop processes to nominate candidates to fill vacancies for the Police Board members and lead the work to nominate people to fill vacancies when they occur. They will also lead annual work to establish goals for the Police Board at the beginning of each year and assess the Police Board's performance in meeting those goals at the end of the year. It will track the Police Board's work and keep the Commission informed about all Police Board matters on a regular basis. I move to also create the Non-Citizen Advisory Council Committee, which will work to develop and implement a plan to select members of a non-citizen advisory council and act as commission liaisons to the non-citizen advisory council. I move to create the Community Engagement Committee, which will develop and help carry out plans to create broad community engagement in the Commission's work, something we heard a lot about today. And I move to create the Ad Hoc Police Superintendent Search Committee, which will develop a process to nominate candidates to serve as police superintendent whenever there is a vacancy for the position. It will also lead the Commission's work in identifying and nominating candidates whenever the vacancy occurs. That's it.
Thank you, Vice President Gomez. Is there a second? It's seconded by Commissioner Loyson. Vice President Gomez moves that we create the committees he listed in Commissioner Loyson's seconds. Is there a debate on the motion? Hearing none, we will now move to a vote. Those in favor of adopting the motion to create committees specified in Commissioner Gomez's motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it and the motion carries. The committees are created. The next order of business is reports. In future meetings, when commission committees have carried out important business, they'll report on it in our public meetings. We just created these committees at this meeting, so we don't have committees to report yet. But since members of this commission began working earlier this month, small groups have been working to lay the foundation for important work that the commission will be doing going forward. And we'll report on that today. First, we'll have a report on the commission's work to fill vacancies of the police board. Commissioner Tronkowsko.
Thank you, Anthony. As Anthony mentioned, we will be presenting on the Commission's work to fill vacancies on the police board. And to understand the importance of this work, which I'm sure many of you in this room already intimately understand, it is crucial to zoom out and understand exactly what the police board is and what it does. The police board is integral to ensuring public safety and accountability in our city because it is responsible for making difficult disciplinary decisions for officers accused of misconduct. That core function breaks down into three functions. Number one, deciding disciplinary cases when the superintendent files charges to discharge a CPD officer. Number two, ruling on disagreements between the head of COPA and the superintendent regarding discipline of an officer. And finally, deciding appeals to become CPD officers when applicants have been disqualified by a background check. The Community Commission will play a critical role in ensuring that the makeup of the police board reflects the diverse communities of Chicago, both in appointing and removing members. In appointing members, there's a process for the commission to nominate police board members. First, a police board vacancy will occur, of which there are currently 3. The commission will then develop a short list of 3 candidates per vacancy per the ordinance. The mayor will pick one or request a new list, and then finally the city council will have to approve the choice. In removing members of the police board, the commission also plays a large role. First, the commission may believe that a member of the police board is unfit for duty. Then the commission has the power to hold hearings and hold a vote of no confidence. That vote of no confidence will then prompt the city council to vote on their removal. Historically, police board members have been picked by the mayor. The commission recognizes the importance of ensuring that Chicagoans from all communities have a voice that impacts public safety and accountability and is committed to ensuring that the police board members are representative of our entire city. Accordingly, in developing the shortlist for the nominees mentioned before, the commission has developed a historic open selection process for police board members that complies with the guidelines set forth in the Public Safety and Accountability Ordinance. The commission will be posting the police board application on its website and on other various social media platforms on October 7th, 2022, and all interested Chicagoans will have 30 days to apply. The commission will conduct robust outreach, which we heard that we have to make improvements on, and then make recommendations to the mayor, who will ultimately determine who is selected. While full eligibility criteria will be posted on the commission's website and on the application, interested Chicagoans should have a background in one or more of the fields listed above to comply with the regulations of the police board. And we will also be making this presentation public after the meeting as well. It is the commission's great hope that qualified Chicagoans will recognize the importance of the police board and will come forward to serve.
Thank you, Commissioner Tronkowsko. Next, we have a report on the Non-Citizen Advisory Council and the process the commission will use to fill vacancies on that council. Vice President Gomez.
I want to apologize because I'm not as cool as Isaac and I did not prepare a presentation. So, in the interest of accountability, know that I will be better. I want to talk about something that's really important to me and a lot of people in this room. The community members that drafted this ordinance, many of them in this room, like I said, understood that policing impacts immigrant and non-citizen Chicagoans in unique ways. In order to ensure that these perspectives and experiences are reflected and incorporated into the work that we will be doing, the ordinance requires that we create an advisory council. Members of this advisory council will be selected, much like the police board, through an open process. The application materials will also be available on the Commission's website on October 7th of this year. So please check in on our website on October 7th to learn more about how you can get involved in the work that we're doing. There's a lot of work that needs to get done, and we need your support to get that done. Thank you, President.
Thank you, Vice President Gomez. Next, I'll report on the work the Commission will do to review the CPD budget. Under ordinance, every year before the City Council votes on the budget, the Commission must review the CPD budget and it can propose changes to said budget. That will be a challenge this year because commissioners were recently appointed and the budget will be introduced very soon. But in the time we have available, the Commission will call a special meeting where members of the public can come and share their ideas and questions about the CPD budget. We'll also learn as much as we can from the department about the budget so that we can make recommendations for this year. And in the coming months, we'll continue to dig deeper so that we can meet the Commission's mandate to ensure that the city's public safety resources are being used efficiently and effectively. The next order of business is reports and updates. The ordinance establishing the Commission gives the Commission the authority to require the attendance of the police superintendent, the COPA chief administrator, the president of the police board, and the public safety inspector general, or their designees, to attend any regular or special meeting of the Commission in order to provide updates on matters that the Commission requests, and to answer questions from the Commission and hear public comments. We intend to use that authority in many of our public meetings, possibly all of them. Our goal is to get information that will help the Commission to carry out its duties under this ordinance. When we request an update or have questions, we'll make a specific request in writing and provide ample notice. In the coming weeks and months, we expect to ask for updates and ask questions about some of the following issues. We will work to understand the workforce allocation studies that were conducted for the Chicago Police Department, which reportedly suggests that there is a substantial disconnect between when and where crime and violence happens and when and where police officers are deployed. We'll also seek other data to help us understand how quickly the police department is responding to calls for service in many different parts of the city. We'll work to understand what those studies suggest and why they are important and how the Chicago Police Department has responded. We'll work to understand what progress CPD has made in making changes to the Criminal Enterprise Information System, which is commonly referred to as the gang database. CPD acknowledged that there were serious problems with this system more than 3 years ago. And since then, the department has missed several of its own deadlines to improve the system. We intend to ask all of those questions in a public forum. We will learn about the serious complaints that police officers have been raising about canceled days off and about the impact that days off may have on officers' health and wellness, and ultimately on their ability to do their jobs effectively. And we will work to understand the status and substance of changes announced by the superintendent recently to address these concerns. The next order of business is the announcement of the next commission meeting. And I'm going to actually pause right here to ask a question of So there was a mistake in the notes. Our next scheduled meeting, as we mentioned, we are trying to have. Okay. The next order of business is the announcement of the next commission meeting. The commission's next regular meeting will be on October 27th at 6:30 p.m. The commission will also schedule a special meeting focused on the CPD budget on October 17, 2022. That meeting will be held virtually, and a link to the meeting will be posted on the commission's website at least 10 days before the meeting. As I said earlier, at the special meeting, members of the public will be able to share their ideas and questions about the Chicago Police Department budget. We'll also learn as much as we can from the CPD about budget. This is also where we would typically adjourn, but I understand that there have been more public comments submitted, and I think it's important in our first meeting that we take public comments seriously. So we will now open public comment up again for the folks who have asked to speak. And that is you have 2 minutes for public comment. It looks like we have 3 folks who were not able to speak at the beginning who we will now call up. The first one being Mr. George Blakemore. Mr. Blakemore.
Earlier, you didn't have 2 minutes. This is something new now, 2 minutes. So I'm going to take my time. I wish you all well. I wish you well. You can't even make your aldermen accountable. You can't even make your commissioners accountable. You can't make the police accountable, can you? Well, I'm going to watch this saga unfold. Now it's getting time, election time. You got them there, make her accountable. You got aldermen, make them accountable. You got Cook County commissioners, make them accountable. You can't do that, can you? But you're gonna get 8 or 10 people up here and you're gonna make them accountable. And most of this crime that's happened with these rogue police are committed against black people. Not colored people, not white people, not Asian people, but black people. So this council should reflect more black people. The pain and the suffering of my people. So I wish you well, but I don't know. I'm hoping. How long have we been hoping? Keep hope alive. How long have we been saying we're going to overcome? Now this is a new commission, and I'm going to look and watch, and I'm going to see if you're going to be evicted. Maybe it's set up for doom when you don't have money, and you're dealing with rogue policemen that have $900 million. So I wish you well. Make your elected officials that you already got accountable. And you can't do that, can you? You haven't in the past. So I'm going to watch this saga. Mr. Blakemore, your 2 minutes are up. May God bless all of y'all.
Our next speaker that we have, it says Miss L.
Oh my God, oh my God. First of all, I gotta must give praises to the Heavenly Father, Yah, and His Son Yeshua, amen. Y'all call Him Jesus, but He is still the same, one God and one Jesus, amen. But I must give my praises. My sister passed away May the 16th. Fight to free her son that's been wrongfully convicted, going on 10 years in Menard prison. He been innocent from day one. I've been paying for 2 lawyers. The first lawyer, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. Thank you for this moment, oh my God. And I ran outside when I got the phone call to get here without my eyelash. So you know today is very important. Miss Hill on Wheels, cleaning services out here without her eyelash. Man, I'm out here. And I got to be out here. And I'm playing, I can't believe it, but I'm here. And I got to give praises and glory. And I want to thank everybody today And please, Miss Hill on Wheels is out here with no eyelashes. Oh my God. So this is very important to me. I'm standing here in public. I ain't think I'll ever be standing here without no eyelashes on 107. But I need for y'all to please look into Stephen Douglas case. Stephen Douglas Jr. He was wrongfully convicted by a 51st and Wingrove police station. There was 2 officers. We know everything about it. Oh my God. It's sad how them 2 officers set him up like that, but they did. And so far, a young man got up here and said that someone killed, an officer killed his son. But the scriptures is written, sir, bold man and woman, your punishment is not forgotten, it's just on delay. So the officer or whoever took a life of an innocent, anything, or anyone, God said, bold man and bold woman, your punishment will not be forgotten. It's just on delay. That part. So don't forget that part, because when you commit a crime, you're supposed to be serving and protect us, not wrongfully convicting us. And then now, in Menard prison, they got them drinking dirty water, dirty water. It's so infested that Stephen Douglas has been trying to get close to home for 2 years, and they just now let him out. After his mother died, May the 16th this year, we was at Reverend Jesse Jackson place that day. And Frank was helping us ever since, and still is. And she passed, still fight. So I got to free my innocent loved one and bring him back home. And the Alicia brothers there as well and all. Thank y'all for letting me take 5 minutes instead of 3, but I love y'all all. And thank y'all so much. And ladies get 107.
Thank you for this opportunity. Honestly, I really wasn't prepared to speak today, but God.
Amen.
My brother was wrongfully convicted on April 20th, 2009 by the 3rd District Police Department. Officer Hawkins, I'm not scared anymore, so I'm gonna call out names.
Amen.
Officer Hawkins, he was a police then, he's a detective now, my mom said. He told my mom, before I get to this, my brother attended Apostolic Church of God, he attended Richard Daley College. We grew up in the inner city. I've been in Woodlawn my entire life. I'm 42. My brother got wrongfully convicted when he was 22 years old. He's 35 now. He was leaving a party with his friends, co-defendants. The 3rd District Police Department pulled him over. My brother is right-handed, and they found 3 particles on his left hand. The car, the weapon, and the cell phone towers registered back to the co-defendant. When they got him to the police station, I knew nothing about justice. I wasn't as conscious as I am now. I had a spiritual awakening this year after seeing the Emmett Farmer movie. It's one thing to learn something or read something, but to visually learn it, it cringed at my soul. And it caused me to not only study Black folks' history, it caused me to study my own family history. So in order to know where you're going, you gotta know where you came from. And when they ran the GSR, I did my research and homework on that. I kept seeing the number 3. God woke me up at 2:22 in the morning, reoccurrence of numbers. And I just decided to research it. And in the beginning, it was the devil. I had doubts like, did my brother really do this? But as God has been talking to me and I've been studying and seeing how corrupt the police system is, it's just unbearable. My brother, he received 54 years for a crime he didn't commit. His co-defendant, they gave him 90, but he only served 3. I just want to say this really quick. I know I don't have too much time. It's a lot of different avenues, like the brother said, to slavery. And one of those avenues that I learned too as well this year is we walk around and we say, oh, someone, whatever, snitched, told a lie, whatever. But it's also, it really is a police tactic. The number one characteristic of the devil was fear. So these polices walk around. I was raised with 6 brothers in the inner city. My father died when I was younger. My brother who's incarcerated, he has a different dad. You know, you have children running. I'm sick of seeing, I know this don't have nothing to do with it, but I'm sick of seeing on social media, which is the new news media, how police are putting their knees on our necks, and it's ridiculous. And I would like for my brother, you know, for this whole situation to be looked into. It is clearly, it's injustice, it's inhumane. He is suffering in prison now. He's suffering, these COs. And I hate to even like say it, but God is the truth. Amen. God is the truth. So it is still slavery, is modern day slavery. And they no utensils, a shower once a month, and he's just being treated inhumane, and he should never be there in the first place. I just want some justice. I want Mayor Lightfoot, I know she wasn't a mayor at the time, to hold these police accountable, because my foot ain't light and my heart is happy. Where you at? Speak up, speak out now, Mayor Lightfoot. Amen.
Thank you so much.
I think the last one that we received was from Andre. That's good.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Alderman Andre Vasquez of the 40th Ward. You can call me Andre. I want to thank you all for being here for what is clearly Chicago history. We've got 100 years of police misconduct. We're the city of Fred Hampton. We're the city of Laquan McDonald. And I want to recognize all the folks that did the work to get this to where it is now. We've got Frank Chapman. We've got the CPAC group. Absolutely. We've got the grassroots organization of CPAC. We've also got the GAPA coalition. You have to give that recognition, because this wouldn't be happening were it not for the people on the ground organizing. It's a shame that we have to have it, but I am grateful for all the people who organized to do so. Yeah. And I want you all to listen to what they said the committees are going to be and what they're going to work on. When we talk about the fact that the police budget is $1.9 billion and going up, that 40% of your tax dollars go to that when other 35 departments are underfunded, we know we don't always get those answers from city council, so to have a board to be able to speak to it is important. When you talk about, first we know our black folk go through it most, but we also know our brown folk go through it, our Asian folk, our LGBTQ community, our trans folk. Everyone feels oppression in this system. And so being able to work together to make sure you're holding it accountable is absolutely vital. And so I want to commend all the commissioners, but when we talk about what this is able to do, it is not only about the commissioners. This crowd needs to double and triple in size every time we're having these meetings. Because if we see this commission continuing and nobody's here, they will make it feel like it's a weak commission when it has the powers to hire and fire, to have the superintendent come and speak for himself, because we know council doesn't do it. We need to make sure that you all are here and that you get the word out to everyone you know, because all of us have experienced some level of oppression. We used to get kicked out every weekend at Navy Pier, right, and at Grant Park, just for being people of color out at the park. We still have to deal with curfews. We look at the fact that we spend hundreds of millions of dollars in police misconduct settlements, and it will continue to make it worse. Your city will crash financially if we don't do the right thing. And so I want to urge everyone to be here. 2 minutes are up, much respect, President. Show up, because that's what government is about, and we need you all to continue to push the commission so that we have more strength. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Alderman.
So, I know I just did this, but I do want to be respectful. This meeting was supposed to wrap at 8:30, and we had just one more comment that was submitted, and I think it's important that we hear from everyone who wants to speak today. This has been our first meeting, but there will not be any more public comments after this. Sir, if you'd like to come up to the microphone.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name's Lee Walecki. I want to applaud everybody for showing up here, sharing their stories. I've got a little different perspective because I'm a retired police sergeant. We talk about police accountability. I look at these things up here on the board. I'm going to run for my local police council. Reading the ordinance, very important. How do we rebuild trust with the police and the community? Okay, I worked on the west side in the 11th district. I know Commissioner Loizon was the state's attorney. She prosecuted the Black Soul street gang over there. I also was case officer in a wiretap case where we took down the Walnut Home and Heroin organization years ago. The thing about police, well, I've heard all of this stuff about police misconduct, police economy. Are there bad police? Has there been bad police? Sure there have. Yeah. But one thing that tears at my heart, I'm a graduate of Lower High School on the west side. And yeah, Lower High School, that's right. 1975. Okay? Maybe I'm a little older, but one thing that really tears at my heart, and people will say, oh, you don't really care, you were the police, what do you care? Since 2018, over 2,400 people of color in this city have been killed by other people of color. In community organizations, it's a truth. It's a fact. It's a fact. It's not, pardon? It's a reality. What do we do together to stop this violence? I've got some ideas. I'm going to share them if I'm elected to the police council because I was a policeman. Also, I was a citizen. I remember when I was on the west side. Boy, you didn't mess with the police when you were on the west side. Even as a kid, in that neighborhood, it was changing. You know, the police came by, you got boot in the butt. You didn't go home and tell your parents because then you get another boot in the butt. I'm not saying we should go back to that. But what I'm saying is we have to work together. The police and the community have to work together. And if it's going to be all about police accountability and not a police-community partnership, this commission is not going to be successful. We started with OPS, then we went to IPRA, now we got COPA. We've got the Inspector General, I believe she was here earlier. Everything is about accountability for the police, which needs to happen. But again, we have to work together. Police and the community have to work together to lower the violence. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you.
I'm retired.
So at this point, we will move to adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for joining us tonight. I would like to remind everyone that the district council elections are happening in February alongside your mayor, alongside your city clerk, your city treasurer, and your alderman. This is something, one, I would also like to acknowledge this is a historic moment. Yeah. This is something that was on the agenda of Mayor Harold Washington when he passed away. So to see this come into fruition is a really great thing, but we know, every commissioner up here, we've had personal conversations. We know the work ahead of us. We heard all of your public comment. We are regular, everyday citizens. This is not, a salary thing. This is something that we do because we believe in this commission. We believe in the residents of the city of Chicago, and we believe in the neighborhoods that we all have to go home to. So with that, we'll only be able to succeed if you all stay engaged with us. So please continue to come to the meetings of this commission. Please continue to get involved with your district councils, and please encourage people to run for those district councils and about the work that lies ahead. There being no further business before the commission, the first meeting of the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability is adjourned.